not for the fact that our leaders are so greedy, why would a Nigerian be in the UK? The UK economy is failing. If all immigrants should leave the UK today, the UK will collapse. I know that nobody will leave. When you're coming from third world countries, UK still looks like a promised land. Even fresh graduates find it very difficult to get a job. Everything is tied to immigration because that is their only source of income now. A whopping £3,029 to get a piece of paper that you can now stay indefinitely in the UK. If I have to cough out £20,000 per year to study in a country, that country had better have 5 jobs lined up for me after my studies. They stole from us and they continue to steal from us till this day. What have we ever benefited from the UK as an ex-colony? You move to Canada today as a Nigerian, in 3 years' time, you qualify for citizenship. Why would you charge somebody £1,035 per year for IHS, most wicked colonial master? I was born and raised in Nigeria. I first moved to the UK more than 20 years ago when I got a job with a Fortune 500 company and they sent me to the UK. When I arrived in the UK, it was doom and gloom. Yeah. First impressions, I wanted to move back immediately, so much that when I heard about another contract that would have allowed me to work from my country without having to live in the UK, I discussed that with my manager, but I couldn't get it. So I had to live in the UK for 4 years before moving to Spain, a literal paradise. After living in Spain for a few years, I made this video where I've already discussed some reasons why I prefer living in Spain to the UK. But anytime I get this kind of question, yes, people from my country always assume that I live in the UK, or by default, they assume that whenever a Nigerian lives outside Nigeria, they're either living in the UK, US, Canada, or Australia, you know, the English-speaking countries, because it's better to integrate where they already speak your language. Also, because of the fact that Nigeria is an ex-colony of the UK, yes. The UK invaded Nigeria long ago. Nigeria is an ex-colony of the UK. So by default, everybody expects you to live in the UK. So whenever I get this kind of question, I start thinking again, all the reasons, new reasons why I never ever want to move back to the UK starts flooding back to me. Hence this video. Number one reason is on moral grounds. I'm not going to support a country, because living in the UK is supporting their economy. I'll get to that one later. I'll not knowingly support a country that stole a lot from my country, Nigeria, and continues to steal from my country till this day. I recently visited the art gallery in Manchester, and this is what I saw in their art gallery. Proof that the UK has been stealing from my country. If they have the guts to display in their art gallery that in 1901, Nigeria was making £2.2 million from the export of palm fruits alone, and by 1927, Nigeria was making £16.3 million in export of palm fruits alone. Nigeria has so many natural resources from agriculture. And right here, it's written that 1/2 goes to the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom was stealing half of our money, half of our exports back then. And today, they continue to steal from us. They paint their country as the best, of course, looking from the eyes of somebody coming from a third world country where our leaders have run us down with bad leadership. The UK will look good. They attract you with their country is good. They offer you COS, fake that they have the best education, so you come and pay upwards of £20,000 per year to study in the UK. All of that is just propaganda. It's marketing. Because for real, the UK economy is failing, if you don't know that.
If you're a graduate looking for jobs in the UK, you'll know how terrible the market is at the moment, with the number of graduate job postings down 33% compared to last year, and at their lowest level since 2018.
The US grew by 0.7% in the third quarter, France grew by 0.4%, and even Germany, whose economic woes have been well documented in the international press, grew by 0.2%.
In the past 3 years, a gap has opened up between overall job vacancies vacancies and graduate job vacancies specifically.
Britain was once one of the world's wealthiest nations, but today, experts warn that it's no longer a rich country. Living standards have plunged, wages are stagnant, and millions are struggling just to get by. This stagnation means the average UK household now struggles more than those in countries like Slovenia and Malta.
Yes. Even fresh graduates find it very difficult to get a job. Yeah, they have some jobs that are, under extinction. They really need people badly and their people cannot do those jobs. But those are few. Any other course that you go there to study, you're not going to get a job at the end of your degree after paying all those £20,000 per year. Look at what the UK economy looks like now. You can see that agriculture is literally non-existent. Manufacturing sector is dying. And the only thing they have going for them is the service sector. That is why they're charging you thousands of pounds. Immigration fees has hit the roof in the UK. You pay thousands of pounds to stay in the UK. You pay thousands for immigration health surcharge. Everything is tied to immigration because that is their only source of income now. Yes, the Home Office is under the service sector. They are providing a service to you. The schools are under the service sector. They are providing a service to you, selling to you that they have the best education. What is that thing that they are teaching in the UK that the mainland Europe universities are not teaching? On mainland Europe, you can find a lot of good universities taught in English that are free. The only thing you need is your living expenses. Yeah, the UK is continuously marketing their country. I give it to them. It's good marketing. That is part of the reason why they left the EU. Because, imagine the number of people in the EU that would have been paying home fees, when they were in the EU. Those from mainland Europe, the members of the European Union paid home fees when they studied in the UK. But these days, because they've removed themselves from the EU members now pay the international fees, more money for the UK, all under the service sector. I know that nobody will leave because, when you're coming from third world countries, UK still looks like a promised land, right? But you have other options. Look at Canada. My country, Nigeria, we don't have any link to Canada, but you move to Canada today as a Nigerian, in 3 years' time, you qualify for citizenship. They're not going to charge you thousands and thousands and thousands of Canadian dollars before you get there. You move in once with PR, straight from your country, you move in with PR, permanent resident, without even setting foot in Canada. Once you get there, it starts counting. And after 3 years, only 3 years, this is a country that you don't have any link to. This is a country that didn't come to Nigeria to steal from us. Yet, they're giving you citizenship under 3 years. You have an option, my people. Why would I ever want to move back to the UK? I live in Spain. I am happy here. Talk about the food, the quality of life, the weather. Oh my God, weather alone. If not for the fact that our leaders are so greedy, stealing from us, why would a Nigerian be in the UK and say that they're living in the UK? Just tell me why. Leave Nigeria if you want to, because immigration is a fact. People will continue moving around. A lot of UK people are moving to Spain. That reminds me, that's part of their propaganda. They say that Spain is a low-wage country. The Spanish people are poor, this and that. The only reason the UK people are not moving here is because of language barrier. That's why they can't wait. As soon as they retire, they sell their house in the UK and run to this place. Meanwhile, you as an immigrant, the moment you move in, they're advertising houses to you. Now, after 1 month in the UK, you can buy a house. When I was living in the UK, when their economy was a little bit good, you could never buy a house if you did not have an indefinite leave to remain. That was when you could get indefinite leave to remain after 4 years. But now they've extended it to 5 years, and citizenship 5 years as well. Why is it that you qualify for indefinite leave to remain after 5 years? You also qualify for citizenship after 5 years. Why don't they just forget about that indefinite leave to remain and you go straight to citizenship? It's because they charge you £3,000 plus to move from normal, maybe highly skilled or skilled worker visa to indefinite leave to remain. They're not going to let that £3,000 they charge you for ILR pass them by. And then they have to charge you a huge amount again to get the passport. Why? Somebody that has been living in your country for so many years, contributing, paying taxes, paying huge taxes. We are coming to that. We are going to look at the numbers, because when I'm saying these things, a lot of people in the UK do not realize the level of extortion. that the UK is doing, like they're doing a huge number on you guys. People need to protest this because it doesn't make sense. This is reverse slavery. They stole from us a long time ago and they continue to steal from us till this day. What have we ever benefited from the UK as an ex-colony? Next, I'm going to compare two ex-colonial masters. Yeah, the UK is the #1 colonial master in the world. They invaded the most lands, followed by France. But you know, I've never lived in France. I don't come from an ex-colony of France. So we're going to leave France by one side because I do not know the workings in France. The third colonial master in terms of number of lands conquered is Spain, the country that I live in. I've lived in Spain for a long time, long enough to be able to tell you how the path from moving to Spain for the first time to being a Spanish national works. As we all know, Spain conquered most of South America. Maybe there are 1 or 2 countries in South America that Spain did not conquer, and then they conquered one lone country in Africa. I'm going to show you how much it will cost you, how long it will take you as a citizen of the ex-colony of Spain compared to a citizen of ex-colony of the UK, so that you will see the level of extortion. The UK depends on your immigration fees, immigration and immigration associated fees to stay afloat. If all immigrants should leave the UK today, the UK will collapse. Let's look at the spreadsheet. First of all, it depends on the pathway. They don't even have a defined pathway. A lot of people don't even know when they will qualify for citizenship. It's shrouded in different pathways. They tell you this pathway is 5 years, this pathway is 7 years, this one is 10 years. For some pathways, you don't even know when you will qualify for citizenship. All these are how they hide under, oh, we are not sure, we don't know, to continue to extort money from you for as long as possible. So let's say you came in through the study visa, which is a lot of times the easiest way to gain access to the UK. You know, they want that your money. International fees is a joke to you. The study visa costs £524. This is from your country. You're still in your country. You apply for this visa, £524. And you have to pay the immigrant health surcharge. For students, they say it's £776 per year. It's like health insurance. For you to be able to access the NHS, you know, the health in the UK, you have to pay this. You will see that they charge students less as we go ahead because they say that students are generally younger. They may not need the health service as much as adults, you know, people that are much older. And then you have to pay upwards of £20,000 per year to study in UK. The UK universities, you know, they used to have the best universities I know back in the day, but tell me, what exactly are they teaching in those universities that other universities are not teaching? Why would somebody pay £20,000 even if you're using one student to pay a lecturer? Why should somebody, can you please justify this £20,000 to me? Okay, let's say you're studying first degree for 3 years, yeah? You spend a total of £60,000 in tuition alone, mind you. Yeah, there's some other thing I saw, cars or something like that, but let's just leave all those ones aside and let's just leave living expenses aside because you still spend on living expenses elsewhere. And yeah, let's not get into that. And then, assuming you studied something like data science or computer science, this is not one of the endangered jobs, you know, the jobs where they're scrambling for people that work in those fields. So you're going to apply for what is called a post-study work visa, where they give you the opportunity to look for a job, to stay back after studies, to look for a job. So you haven't gotten a job yet, you're going to start looking for a job now. So you have to pay for this post-study visa, which costs £880. This is somebody that has already paid £524 to come and study. After that, you have to pay £880 to extend your stay, and they're treating it like they're doing you a favor. If I have to cough out £20,000 per year to study in a country, that country had better have 5 jobs lined up for me after my studies, right? But no, in the UK, you don't get that. You have to apply for a post-study visa. After first degree and master's, you can apply for post-study visa for up to 2 years. If you did your PhD in the UK, you have a chance to apply for up to 3 years. Yeah, so let's assume this person is applying after first degree or master's. Yeah, you apply for 2 years, you pay £880, and then you have to pay the IHS. Again, this IHS keeps showing up. People pay national insurance. National insurance is supposed to cover these things. But I understand this one, that you're still looking for a job. But why would you charge somebody £1,035 per year for IHS? So as this person is applying for a 2-year visa, that person will have to pay £2,070 for health insurance. Okay, whether you're sick or not for those 2 years, they don't care. You have to pay it up front. So why don't they do it in such a way that whenever you're sick, when you go to the hospital, you pay out of pocket? It will definitely be cheaper than making you pay this up front, because a lot of people from year to year, they don't go to the hospital. A lot of people don't get sick. I know that once you get a job, you can get a refund for this. If you get a job in a field that is endangered, what's the name for that field? Can you help me in the comments? Like that kind of career that they're looking for, like in the healthcare sector, they're short-staffed in that area. So they're always like literally begging people to work in that area. So assuming you eventually get a job in that area, they're going to waive this health surcharge for you. They're going to refund you. I don't know if do they refund? What happens after you have paid it? Will they refund it to you? This is the part that is not clear online, because a lot of their information is kind of shrouded in secrecy, so that you don't really understand it very well, so that you're going to spend the money anyway before you understand it, something like that. So you move from post-study work visa to skilled worker visa when you get a job. And then you still pay for this IHS. If the skilled work you got, assuming you got a job as a programmer, let's say, it's not under the career, the ones that they're looking for. So you still have to pay this IHS, yeah? £1,035. This is somebody that is paying taxes, paying NI. So what do they use their NI for again? Let's say the person got a skilled worker visa for 3 years. You're going to pay £3,105 for IHS. And then after 5 years in the UK, total of 5 years counting from after you finish your studies, you qualify for indefinite leave to remain. And guess how much you have to pay for indefinite leave to remain? A whopping £3,029 to get a piece of paper that you can now stay indefinitely in the UK. Why? Somebody that has spent 5 years in your country paying you huge taxes. This is wickedness. Why would I want to move to such a country? Please, no. And for this indefinite leave to remain, if you want to get a response within 5 days, because a lot of people are curious. I think when you don't pay for this expedited ILI priority surcharge, you don't know when you're getting it. How long? What is the maximum? Is it 6 months? Is it 9 months? Is it 1 year? How long does this one take? If you don't pay for this ILI priority surcharge, please let me know. To get a response within 5 days, you pay £500. If you want to get a response in 24 hours, £1,000. You see all the immigration associated fees. So it's even possible to get a response within 5 days. Why don't you give everybody the response within 5 days? After all, you guys make a lot of money already from this. You can pay workers to work on this 247 to ensure that people get their responses within a short time. But no, after paying a whopping £3,029. What exactly is this for? Let me know, because this is somebody that has lived in your country. You have a lot of data on them. You can do background checks. When they moved in, that they have not committed any crimes. What exactly are you checking that you're charging this? How many hours exactly does it take to check through somebody's documents? And how much do you pay these officials per hour? I want to know, because I saw another document that proves that the UK knows that they overcharge. They many times overcharge for these services, that the services are not worth the huge amounts of money they charge people for that. But they don't care anyway, because they are a failing economy. They rely on these big numbers, these huge amounts to stay afloat. And then you have to pay £50 for the Life in the UK test. It's a test that shows that you understand the life in the UK. This is not even a citizenship, and you are required at this stage to take the Life in the UK test. once you pay £50, you can sit the test once. If you fail it, you have to pay £50 again and again till pass it, yeah? And then you have to take the English test. The one that annoyed me most here is a country, Nigeria, that speaks English. English is our official language. All our education is done in English. There's no Nigerian that studied up to primary school level that doesn't know how to speak English. In fact, our grammar, I can prove it to you, our grammar is much better than the UK grammar. Yeah, they own the language, but we don't speak we was in Nigeria, please. So yeah, that's just one example. Huh? So Nigeria is not exempt. So you have to pay £150 for one sitting of the English language test. So if you cannot exempt people from your ex-colony that you have been stealing from since time immemorial, if you cannot exempt them from the English test, what exactly have you done for your ex-colony? Nothing. Okay, this is the part I don't understand. After 5 years in the UK, you qualify for ILR, you also qualify for citizenship, but of course you have to get the ILR first, and according to what I saw online, you have to wait for 1 year minimum before you can now apply for citizenship. So tell me what extortion is, if not this. They have to make you pay the £3,029 first before you come around next year or after 1 year and pay £1,630 to apply for citizenship. I don't understand this part. Like, I will understand if someone qualifies for citizenship after 10 years. I mean, that's a long time between ILR and citizenship. So why both of them put them so close together and you have to pay this huge amount? And then if you qualify to be the citizen of the UK, you have to pay £94.50 for the actual passport booklet. This brings us to a total of £75,129.50 to become a UK citizen from the day you come in as a student to the day you qualify for citizenship or the day you get the passport booklet in your hands. If you came in as a skilled worker, you didn't come to study, you came straight from your country into the UK, you applied for skilled work, or like you found work in the UK and then you moved in, you would have spent £9,327.50. And whenever you're making these applications, you pay the same amount for kids as well. There's no minor fees. If you're applying for indefinite leave to remain for a kid, you pay the same amount. If you're applying for a passport for a kid, you pay the same amount. I'm telling you, this country is the most wicked colonial master. Yes, I said it. Remember, what we finished talking about is what a citizen of an ex-colony of the UK will spend from the moment they get on the naturalization ladder to having the passport in their hands. In contrast, this is what a citizen of an ex-colony of Spain will spend and the number of years they will spend, before they get the citizenship. Okay, let's say the person came in as a student, like in the UK case. A lot of schools in Spain cost from as low as €1,000 per year to €3,000, €7,000 maximum per year, public universities. It's only private universities that you hear about 9,000, 10,000 euros. Yeah, you come in through that, you pay only 90 euros for a visa and you study for say 3 years. Yeah, and that's how much? Maximum 21,000 euros extra. If you're coming in on the residence permit as a citizen of any of the ex-colony of Spain in South America, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Chile, Argentina, you pay 90 euros in your country for the visa. And then when you come in here, you pay 16 euros 8 cents for the card, because Spain has an ID card. Spain is one of the countries in the world that they've always had an ID card, both for non-nationals and nationals of Spain. So once you come, it's just to go to the office of the foreigner office to get your residence card, which only costs 16 euros 8 cents. This one lasts for 1 year. After 1 year, you renew it and get another temporary card that lasts for 2 years. That's just, it's fixed for everybody in Spain, yeah? If you come in, they give you 1 year. When that one expires, you renew for 2 years. But the sweet spot is that you qualify for Spanish citizenship after 2 years. This is why I put it in red here, because before your second renewal runs out, you already qualify for citizenship as a citizen of an ex-colony of Spain, yeah? To apply for citizenship in Spain costs only 104 euros 5 cents. That application you submit all your documents, police character certificate and all that. It costs 104 euros 5 cents. And this application, you make it online, scan your documents and upload. As a citizen of ex-colony of Spain, you're required to take the Life in Spain test. This CCSE test is like the Life in the UK test. You pay 85 euros and you get 2 chances. So if you take the first test and you fail it, you have a chance to take another one without paying a new fee. So 2 chances for 85 euros. The Spanish language test is exempt for all nationals of ex-colonies of Spain, because Spain trusts the Spanish that they taught you when they arrived in your country. Yeah, they trust you to speak that Spanish, even though some of South American Spanish, a Spanish person cannot understand it, like Chilean Spanish. Spanish people don't understand it. Some of these South American Spanish do not even sound like Castilian Spanish, that's the Spanish spoken in Spain. Yet, they are all exempt, without exception. They are all exempt from taking the Spanish language test, okay? So that's 0. And then the cost of getting the actual passport booklet is 30 euros. If you have numerous family, in Spain, there's something called numerous family. For a family where you have 2 parents, if they have 3 children, it's called a numerous family. It's free for all of them to get the Spanish passport. They don't pay anything. We have an ID here for everybody, including the nationals of Spain and foreigners living in Spain. So you pay 12 euros for the ID card. Again, if you are from a numerous family, if you're a member of a numerous family, you pay nada for this. So 0. Making it a total of, okay, if you came here on a work permit or you came here to join your spouse, what you will spend from start to finish is 356 euros 43 cents. If you studied here, add at most 21,000 euros to that. Compare that to how much the UK is charging their ex-colony. Their ex-colony that they stole a lot from and continue to steal a lot from. Why would I move back to such a country? No way. And then let's consider somebody from Nigeria. We are not ex-colony of Spain. We don't have any relationship. I don't think Nigerian government has that kind of bilateral relationship with Spain. Yet, we spend almost the same amount as people from ex-colony of Spain, which tells you that Spain treats somebody that is not from an ex-colony of Spain better than the UK treats somebody from the ex-colony of the UK. Make it make sense. So if you come from Nigeria, again, if you're coming here to study, you pay the same amount, or depending on the school you choose, you pay the same amount of money to study here, which is not so expensive like in the UK. And then, assuming you came here through maybe you joined your spouse route, or you've got a job contract here and you moved here, you pay 90 euros as visa fee in your country. And then when you arrive here again, you pay 16 euros 8 cents. First temporary resident renewal, you pay 19 euros 30 cents. Second temporary resident renewal, you pay 19 euros 30 cents. The first one they give you is 1 year. The second one is 2 years. The third one is 2 years. After a total of 5 years, you qualify for long duration stay in Spain, larga duración, which is equivalent to UK's indefinite leave to remain. So moving from temporary resident to indefinite leave to remain here, we don't pay anything for the special application because we've already lived here for 5 good years. You just go on to renew the card. Like when your second temporary residence card that you renewed expires, they just renew the card for 21 euros 87 cents. They just renew the card, and when you get the card, it will be for a 5-year duration rather than 2 years. In the UK, they make you make a special application as if you're just coming into the country for the first time. Meanwhile, you've lived in the country for 5 years, qualify for indefinite leave to remain in your own right. Yet they make you submit a new application like you've never existed in that country. If you ask me, that's wickedness, because they know that your life is already committed to living there. You don't have a choice. That's what they're doing. But in this case, we just renew the card. And then for somebody from a country that is not an ex-colony of Spain, you qualify for citizenship after living here legally for 10 years. And to apply for citizenship, once again, you pay 104 euros 5 cents. And then you have to take the Life in Spain test, CCSE. Again, you have 2 chances when you pay 85 euros. So, and then for language test, which makes sense, we don't come from a Spanish-speaking country, so we have to go through the language test. For that one, it's 134 euros. You have 2 chances to sit for the test, and they're testing you for A2. A2 is the most basic of levels of a language. Once you can hold simple conversations in the language, it's very easy to achieve. Like, they're not trying to say you have to get a B2 or something like that. A2, and you're through. Cost of the passport, again, 30 euros. 12 euros for ID card. Again, if you come from a numerous family, these things are free for you as well. You don't pay shishi. You spend 531 euros 60 cents in total. And somebody that came here through the study route will pay an additional whatever it takes to study here, which we calculated before to come to 21,000 euros or thereabouts, the tuition alone. If Spain can give you a citizenship with 531 euros, why would the UK be charging you upwards of 12,000 pounds to get the same thing? They make you believe there are no jobs in Spain, they pay you little money. Have you ever compared the amount of money all these professionals earn in the UK versus what they earn in the US, Canada, or Australia? How much does a doctor earn in the US? How much does a doctor earn in the UK? How much does a nurse earn in the US? How much does a nurse earn in the UK? How much do tech people earn in the US? How much do tech people earn in the UK? Just let me know. In the UK, where nurses and doctors earn 2,000 pounds. But go to the US, nurses are earning $5,000. Doctors, surgeons are earning $10,000. And if a hospital wants to poach you, they can actually give you sign-on bonus or something like that. When people are quoting their salary in the US, it's more than $100,000 and all that for basic data science jobs. But in the UK, people are being paid 50,000 pounds on top of 40% taxes. Still, UK will open their mouth every day and say that Spain they don't have jobs, they pay little jobs. The only reason that young people in the UK are not moving to Spain in their droves is language. Because, as we all know, the English-speaking countries, they can never learn another language to save their lives. They can't. That is why as soon as they retire, they sell their houses in the UK and rush to Spain. Because they know that life here is better. Since the nomad visa came out, young people from the UK are steadily moving to Spain. Why? Because they know that language will no longer be an issue. For you to be able to come to Spain on a nomadic visa, you already have a job elsewhere. So you're not going to be interacting with your colleagues in Spanish and all that. You just stay at home, work remotely for whichever company you were working with before. So that's why more young British people are moving to Spain. And you want me to move there? I'm not moving. Why should I be living in a literal paradise? And every day people are asking me, when are you moving to the UK? Have you moved back to the UK? Move to the UK now so that you can live close to me. I'm not coming. I'm waiting for you guys here. When you're tired of the UK, you can come here. I will be waiting for you. Bye. See you in my next video.